How's it going, everybody? Here my dive buddy Matt ran into a yellow-lipped sea krait or a banded sea snake, or the scientific name is Laticauda colubrina. And this is a fascinating marine reptile. So obviously this is not a fish, it's a reptile. We see this occasionally in Dauin on Negros Island in the Philippines, where we dive. And this one was really very easy to work with. So as usual in nature videography, it's totally up to the animal whether the animal allows you to film it. And this one was swimming at a leisurely speed. They're powerful swimmer. If you look at the tail, this is this paddle tail, unlike the pointed tail of land snakes, and so this is clearly an evolutionary adaptation for swimming. So this gives the undulating stroke of the snake much more power. Now these are venomous, probably wondered that, but they're not very aggressive. So there are very few cases of attacks known, and mostly these are just fishermen which had by accident caught one of the snake in their nets, and then the snake was of course panicky and it attacked the fisherman when he went through the net. They don't attack divers typically. What they forage for is small eels, and interestingly the males, which are smaller, go for different species of eels than the larger females. Now the curious thing was, so yes, this snake let me follow it, but it went deeper and deeper. And then at one point I looked at my dive computer and I was in 36 meters, which is not a terribly excessive depth for a recreational dive, but it's deeper than I planned to go on that dive. So nothing bad happened, of course, and I mean, we were still well within our no decompression limits, and obviously we came back safe from the dive. But I was so fascinated by this animal and by the chance to film its elegant swimming motion that I forgot to look at my depth for a minute or two. And then these are such fast swimmers that we ended up quite a bit deeper than I thought we would. Now you can also see that we are a bit deep here by looking at the habitat. This is this mesophotic sand in Dauin, which is a mix between the sand, rubber, Halimeda algae, occasional soft corals, spaghetti sponges. The fish density really has dropped quite a bit, so I'm sure the snake knew what it was doing, and there was still something to forage for it. So look at the elegant swimming motion. I really enjoy filming these reptiles. And again, so here it's crossing the Halimeda algae, and quite the typical deeper habitat in the sandy areas of Dauin. Now, I think it's psychologically quite interesting how humans have interacted with snakes. Well, obviously there are venomous snakes where you can get into major health trouble or even die when they bite you. And so the snakes have come to be the symbol of evil and badness in the minds of the collective human psyche. Like even in the Bible, the snakes is a proxy for the devil, which is so odd because these are beautiful, these are amazing animals, and obviously there's no bad intention in anything they do. I love how they are mid-water here. Now, I also took some photographs of this snake during this dive. I always upload my nature photographs to Flickr, so the link is in the description, please check it out. And then directly from what I do from Flickr, I import the photographs to iNaturalist. So at iNaturalist, there's this voting system, so where other naturalists check whether that is a correct identification which I made, which in this case it was. So there was one other naturalist who confirmed that this is the case. So, voting doesn't always work, but when people act in good faith and are competent, it does. So then here there is a iNaturalist overview page over this animal. Most interesting is the map. So each spot is an observation of this snake, and the countries in green are the countries where this animal occurs. So essentially, from the east coast of India up until Melanesia, we have this animal. There are quite a lot of sightings. I mean, this is a spectacular, it's like a charismatic animal, and hence, the sampling is quite good. So anybody who would be diving with a camera and would encounter these would typically take photograph or footage, because they're fascinating animals. So this is the map for the Philippines. So this is my observations. So essentially in iNaturalist you can upload, and then with a geotag, and then it assembles a biogeography. Now there are some related species, brown-lipped Chinese and New Caledonian sea krait. According to my very knowledgeable friend Abner Bukol, there are some maybe undescribed species in the Philippines. So coming back to the psychology, turtles, just like snakes, marine reptiles, different part of the reptile family tree, of course, but marine reptiles, nevertheless, they have such a different psychological effect on people. Just simply look at that. It is more relaxing to watch a turtle than to watch a snake. And I believe in the Hindu mythology, one of the gods is impersonated as a turtle, and this impersonation stands for flowing milk, so for goodness and plentifulness. So again, we assign these psychological tags and moral values to animals, which really they have very little to do with. This is again my dive buddy Matt, also known as the John Belushi of the coral reef, and he shows how big that turtle is. So I hope you enjoyed that video. As always, if you like my channel, share my videos on your social media channels, like, subscribe. I'm happy to answer questions in the comments, and see you next week.